Thanks for joining us here on Fox 9 All Day. I am Courtney Godfrey. Well, happy Thursday, everybody. Shall we jump into headlines? Oil prices are on the rise once again after President Trump announced yesterday that the ceasefire with Iran is over. The news brings with it new fears that the conflict will once again disrupt oil shipments through the Strait of Hormuz. As a result, crude oil jumped nearly 6% yesterday, while stocks slid as investors show concern that higher energy prices could fuel inflation and push gas prices even higher. And cleanup is underway across southern Minnesota today after flash flooding triggered water rescues Wednesday night. Several people and their pets were rescued from their homes in Mower County, while floodwaters forced road closures and shut down part of Interstate 90. Officials are reminding drivers to never try to cross flooded roads. And Maine Democrat Graham Plattner is dropping out of the U.S. Senate race after multiple women accused him of sexual misconduct. Plattner denies the allegations, but top Democrats urged him to step aside, allowing the party to choose a new candidate to challenge Republican Senator Susan Collins. And it was another big night for the Lynx and a historic one for Cheryl Reeve. Minnesota beat the Connecticut Sun 86-80, giving Reeve her 380th regular season win, the most by any head coach in WNBA history. It's another milestone in a remarkable career for Reeve that already includes 4 WNBA championships with the Lynx. And start planning your state fair menu, because today the Minnesota State Fair released its new foods. 36 official new foods are on the list and 9 new vendors. Among those new creations, oh man, pickle pie, dill cookies, and plenty of over-the-top other treats. My producer, Kara Savage, joins me now. Kara, I know you have plenty of opinions about this fair food.
Yeah, I wasn't super impressed, I will say.
What is your favorite fair food? Deep fried ranch, pickle pizza?
I can't say that like one of the newer, I loved the deep fried ranch, but I wouldn't say like the deep fried ranch is my favorite fair food. I feel like my favorite fair food has to be a pronto pup.
Okay, a classic.
Like it has to be a classic just because the fair is so nostalgic. I don't know. What's
so
yours?
there was one on the list that might interest you then.
Yeah.
It was like a
Korean
mung
corn dog.
Yes,
or mung corn dog.
The mung corn dog, exactly.
Yes, that sounded really good.
So that one. That's a pork sausage flavored with ginger, garlic, fish sauce, chili, and lemongrass, made in collaboration with Kamarchik's. It's skewered, dipped in a cornmeal batter, and fried. There it is up on your screen. Served with a side of citrus kautuab sauce. They gave me a pronouncer here. I should have gone with it. Guachua sauce.
That looks pretty good.
Listen,
I would eat it.
I don't eat meat, so it's not for me. But there was there was a new offering from the Herbivorous Butcher that I'm interested in. I don't know what it was called. I can't find it on my. There's 36 items on my list here, Kara.
There's a lot. We'll go through them later.
We do. We have the food critic from the Pioneer Press coming in. He's incredible. He's been on our show before, and he is a lover of state fair food. So he's an aficionado. I do want his take on the pickle pizza.
The pickle pizza?
Yeah, because it's been around for a couple years now. But the line is still so long, and I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I don't think waiting in that long line is worth it. I wasn't like wowed by it to the point that I would wait an hour. The line is always so long for the pickle pizza, even years after its debut. I am curious which one of these items is going to be the most popular. The pickle pie?
I think the pickle pie will have a long lines on the first few days because people will be curious. And it's Lulu's. People love Lulu's. But I don't know.
The one new item that I'm interested in, it's probably the most boring item on the menu because so many of the things are just, like, there's too many ingredients. It's too overwhelming for me. There's too many flavors. I can't handle it. Like the fried apple on the burger, that sounds good. But what sounds good to me was the deep fried apples. Like they were like,
yes, with the caramel sauce. I agree.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was a fried apple. They looked like French fries, but they were apple slices, and then you dip them in the caramel sauce. Like,
yeah,
that sounds good.
I saw there's also a apple donut ham grinder sandwich, which is like, I think it's a fried apple.
Yes, it is.
On the sandwich. Yeah, that looks really good for me. Good to me, and not good for you.
All right, here's another one that I'm excited about: the Surf and Turf burger. I mean,
yeah, I'm not into that.
You're not into that? Really? Okay, so the Surf and Turf burger, I know you're going to pull up a photo here. It's lobster tossed in garlic herb butter, stacked on a 1/3-pound seasoned grilled beef patty, topped with pepper jack cheese and drizzled with homemade chipotle mayo, served on a toasted brioche bun with a lemon wedge. I want to know how much that costs. Lobster on beef, I'm thinking that
that's got to be in the 20s.
I'm thinking they charge $25 for that.
Yeah.
And that blows the budget for me, but I am very interested.
It looks really good, and I bet it will be good. I'm not getting lobster at the Minnesota-State Fair. I don't know. That's not...
you like the classic Pronto Pup. I like a lot of the classics as well. I think the corn is one of the best things at the fair.
Yeah, agreed.
And it's so basic. I don't know. I don't think... These vendors, they try and get so fancy and so unique because that's what makes you stand out.
Yeah.
But I don't know if consumers really want fancy and unique. Did you see the Bloody Mary that has tomatillo in
Yes. And I'm into that. But also it's a mocktail, so.
It is a mocktail. You got to add the vodka on your own.
Yeah.
All right. Very exciting. By the way, Kara, happy National Sugar Cookie Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Happy National Sugar Cookie Day. Today's July 9th is officially National Sugar Cookie Day. Do you have a favorite cookie?
My favorite cookie is probably a peanut butter blossom, like the Christmas cookies.
Ooh.
Those are my favorite.
Okay. I'm a snickerdoodle girl.
Okay.
I like the cinnamon, like brown sugar. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I like a snickerdoodle, but I feel like I always go for like a peanut butter chocolate kind of situation.
Ooh. Okay.
Like if there's a monster cookie, I'm grabbing that.
Oh yeah, monster cookies are good. That's the M&M, the ones with the M&Ms in them.
Yeah.
Do you like nuts or no nuts?
Yeah. I mean,
I get down with some nuts. Let me tell you, if you're trying to get me a brownie with no nuts.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
See, I see it as like, oh, if there's like walnuts or something in a cookie or in a brownie, I'll eat it. But I would usually pick the one without it.
But if you were baking the brownie, you would leave the walnuts out.
No. But I'll put my walnuts in like banana bread.
Oh, that, yes. Also,
Yeah.
Same. Like,
yeah.
To me, don't serve me a banana bread that doesn't have walnuts in it. I don't want it. I don't want a brownie without walnuts. I don't want a banana bread without walnuts. And I'm gonna go crazy here. I think your chocolate chip cookies should have walnuts in them as well.
I'm gonna disagree.
Oh, I'm hearing boos from the control room. This is aggressive.
Grace is booing you. I'll eat it, but I would not put it in there.
Grace is gluten-free, so she
doesn't get to say
She
anything.
doesn't get a say in this because
No.
she's not eating cookies. Let's get real.
And the cookies that she eats probably taste like cardboard.
Yeah, sorry to all the gluten-free viewers out there. Your cookies are very sad tasting.
I say that with love. My mom's gluten-free.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest wish for my gluten-free friends is that they come up with a better solution for cookies. Like that they come up with a good gluten-free cookie.
Yeah. Or
Anyway,
some bread.
happy Sugar Cookie Day.
Happy Sugar Cookie Day.
All right. Kara Savage. She's going to continue to pop in with us throughout the show today. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. Police departments across Minnesota are increasingly using Flock license plate cameras to help solve crimes. But the technology is also raising a lot of privacy concerns. Joining us now to talk about this issue is a senior policy analyst with the ACLU, Jay Stanley. Jay, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me on.
Jay, you're considered an expert on this topic. You've written several articles about Flock cameras. For our viewers who aren't familiar with these cameras, can you just break down what they are and what they do?
Yeah, so license plate readers are basically AI-enabled cameras that are pointed at traffic on a road or highway and look at the license plate on each car and use AI to figure out what the numbers is, and then records the fact that your license plate was on this corner at this time and stores that in a database. A lot of the modern ones are using AI to do more than just scan the license plate. They are collecting information about your vehicle overall, bumper stickers you might have, distinguishing characteristics like a gun rack or modifications because you're a disabled person or other things. And so it is a powerful surveillance tool, and there are networks of these cameras all around the country that the company Flock runs all of them, and so all of that data can flow to the company's servers, and in many cases can be searched by police anywhere in America, even a search in your community.
So Flock says that all they're storing is the license plate information, but you're saying they're collecting more than that. Do you guys have any data or information that leads you to believe that they are saving information about the car, about the driver, beyond just the license plate?
Well, their own marketing materials, they talk about what they call vehicle fingerprinting technology, which stores the color, the make, and the model of cars in addition to the license plate number. Anything like a crumpled bumper, or as I said, things like bumper stickers. And so that is a much more powerful sort of vehicle search tool than just the license plates. But even the license plates is very powerful because it means they can run your car and they could find out a bunch of things about where you've been going and at what time. And that's where a lot of the privacy issues come in.
So are the privacy issues about data collection and data storage, or is it more than that?
It is about that. Yes, it's mainly about that. I mean, records of where people are going in their life are very private. It can show things about, how often you go to bars, whether you go to certain doctors, Alzheimer's doctors, what kind of sexually oriented, religiously oriented, union activity, political activity, all kinds of things. There have been, agencies that have been found putting license plate readers outside of gun shows, for example. ATF was doing that. And so this is something that's provoking concern across the political spectrum. We're seeing a lot of people on both the left, the right, and the middle who are objecting to this kind of privacy invasion. And, obviously a police officer standing in a corner can see your vehicle, but if the police were following you around 24/7 for a month, you'd be very spooked out by that.
Yeah, certainly. You've written that the biggest danger is mission creep. What does that mean, and what are some examples that you've already seen of these systems being used in ways communities never anticipated?
Yeah, well, this is a very powerful surveillance tool, and what happens when you create systems like this is that it does end up getting used for other things. There have been controversies about people in communities saying, well, if my local law enforcement wants to do this and store this data, maybe for a limited period of time, that's okay. And then are surprised to learn that a sheriff in Texas is searching their data and looking for a woman who had an abortion, which is currently illegal in Texas, and that it's being used by ICE for immigration detention. It's being used to investigate protesters. And so that is a lot of the reason why we worry about mission creep. And we're also seeing AI used for it. People are getting stopped and because they are told that their quote unquote patterns of movement are suspicious. And Flock brags about this in their marketing materials, that they can do analyses and flag people who, for whatever reason, may be driving around in ways that are different from everybody else, and bring them to the attention of law enforcement. And then law enforcement will sometimes pull those people over on a pretext. So that's the kind of way that AI is making uses of this technology in ways that a lot of people don't expect when they just say, okay, the police say it's going to be used to catch bad guys, and I'm in favor of that. And of course, everybody's in favor of that, but you have to ask what the side effects are.
How much control do these cities have that deploy the flock cameras over the data and where that data goes?
So they have a certain amount of control if your city decides that that it wants to have a contract with Flock. The first decision is, does your city share its data nationwide? And what Flock can do is they can let your police chief do a search of a license plate, not only in your community but anywhere in America. But if your police chief wants that power, then they have to agree to share your community's data with all the other police chiefs everywhere in America. And that's when you see a lot of the ICE usages and stuff. But you can say you don't want to be part of that and that you don't want Flock to make your community's data available everywhere in the country. And you can put a lot of other restrictions. We have on our website recommended language. We recommend not becoming a customer of Flock, but some cities decide to. And if you're going to do that, you can limit the way that it's used. You can limit how long the data is retained. Some things you can't control. The data is still flowing to this for-profit company about everybody in your community and where they're driving and when. But there are a lot of things that you can do to limit how much of that data is shared.
You've written about how Flock has changed some of its contracts in ways that shift control away from the cities. So what should cities know before they sign a contract? What should they be looking for before they sign a contract or renew a contract with Flock?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, again, are you allowing nationwide data sharing? What kinds of data retention periods are you allowing for? And then look at exactly what they're saying in terms of, does your city own the data? Does your city get to access the data in its original form? And that's where we've seen some of this shifting contract language by the company creating pitfalls for cities.
We've had people say, if this helps police catch dangerous criminals, why wouldn't we use it? Why should we be against it? What do you say to those people?
Yeah, look, obviously we're all in favor of catching dangerous criminals, but you have to ask, not just does this ever do anything? And of course, the police will tout its successes, but what kind of failures are there? How many innocent people are getting caught up by errors? And there have been people all around the country who have found themselves lying on the pavement with a jittery police officer pointing a gun at them because a Flock reader or another company's license plate reader misread their license plate or misread what state it was, or the NCIC, which is the FBI criminal database that Flock references, wasn't updated, so a car that was stolen has actually been returned, and it was a rental car. You're renting it, and now the police think that you're a dangerous criminal because the system is messed up. And police made errors before we had these kinds of systems, but when you have this company and other companies that are often equally as scary, doing billions of plate reads every day, then you're going to get more errors. You're going to get more of this kind of stuff happening, and we're all susceptible to, being caught up by an error. We're all susceptible to the police targeting us because we're driving around aimlessly. Maybe we're looking at houses or something, and their algorithm decides that we're suspicious. And also, if I'm driving downtown at 2 a.m. And I'm not doing anything wrong, why are the police keeping tabs on me? Why are they keeping records on when I'm driving and where I am? I think a lot of Americans just find it fundamentally offensive and feel that the government shouldn't be looking over everybody's shoulder just in case you're a criminal, looking over everybody's shoulder all the time. And that's not the way that we're supposed to live in America.
This happened just yesterday. An automotive journalist who's based here in Minnesota wrote about his encounter with a local police department. He gets new cars every couple of weeks. I've interviewed Joel a couple times in my career, but Joel Fetter, he writes for thedrive.com and several other automobile review sites and news publications. And he was driving, like he always does, a loaned vehicle. He gets a new car about every 2 weeks. And he was driving this loaned vehicle, and and got stopped by police. They put him through the ringer for a couple hours, him and his wife. Turns out it was all a big mistake. They had the license plate wrong. Is this something that, is happening to everyday people normally? And what's your reaction to what happened to Joel?
Yeah, I mean, that's terrible. And, it's scary to have law enforcement thinking that you're a really dangerous person when you know you're not. And some of those cases turn out very tragically, as we all know. And so that's a dangerous thing. And, a lot of people say, well, I don't have anything to hide, so why do I care if everybody's watching? And, one of the answers is because of errors, because mistakes are made. And when the more surveillance you do, the more decisions you're making about, is this person okay? Is this person okay? Then the more this is going to happen. But, it's also not just about errors. It's all, we don't want to have this kind of surveillance because it creates chilling effects. It makes everybody feel watched all the time. It lends itself to abuses, for example, for political purposes. And so, I think that the lesson here is that, when the police tout, this had this great success from this surveillance technology, you have to look beyond that and not just say, okay, that's great, but what are the other side effects of this technology? And what is it doing for our communities?
Right. And we did interview Joel, and we've got that story up on Fox 9 if anybody wants to see his story. He also published a lengthy article about his encounter with police and this mishap on thedrive.com. What's one question that you think that residents and city council members should be asking themselves before they sign a contract or consider working with Flock?
I mean, I think one of the basic questions is, how would you feel after a while, after this has been going on for a while, just sort of knowing that there is logged at the police station, a record of where you're driving and when. And, at first you might not think about it, might not seem like a big deal, but I think that over time it creates chilling effects. And, maybe you're going to protest the police or you're going to protest something else. And you're just like, or you heard about somebody who was stopped by error or something like the person that you interviewed or stopped because their movements were suspicious. And you start saying to yourself, are the police going to think that this driving that I'm doing is suspicious? And you start to become self-conscious. And I don't think that that's how we should have to live in this country. Yeah.
Where do they place these cameras? That's what I'm having a hard time understanding. Like, where are these cameras that they're constantly capturing photos of my license plate?
They're around streets. Sometimes they're high up, but often they're just a little pole. You'll see a pole. It's got a little camera, and it has a distinctive little solar panel on it. It's the typical ones that you see, just sort of by the side of the road. There are some that are hidden. For example, the DEA has license plate readers on a lot of highways, even all over the country, not just along the southern border. They are often hidden in like orange traffic barrels. So it varies, but a lot of the flock cameras are very identifiable. There's a sort of a pole and there's a little camera with the usual smoke dome, and then there's a solar panel on top of it.
Wow. We have two communities here recently who ended their contracts with Flock amid data sharing concerns. And those two communities are right outside Minneapolis, the Brooklyn Park and Columbia Heights. Will that complicate them working with nearby departments if they are not part of this network that other departments are a part of?
I don't see any reason why it has to be. I think that the smarter and more professional police leaders, they recognize that they serve their community and that they have to reflect the community's desires and values in what kind of especially advanced surveillance technology that's very controversial, very brand new in the human experience of millions of years of human beings. This is the first time the government's had this kind of power. We are seeing around the country a lot of towns and cities that are, in many cases, canceling their flock contracts or their contracts with other vendors like Axon and Motorola, and even more questioning it and having debates about it. So it is something that has really entered the public awareness as people are becoming more and more aware of it, and it's it's generating controversy, as I said, on left and right for various reasons.
Yeah, it sparked a lot of concern across the country and here in Minnesota, as more than 100 police departments here use it. Jay Stanley with the ACLU, I so appreciate you joining us.
Thanks so much for having me on.
All right, that was Jay Stanley, a senior policy analyst at the ACLU, talking about flock license plate cameras. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about all the new state fair food with the Pioneer Press food reviewer. Stay right there. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on Fox 9 All Day. I'm Courtney Godfrey. Well, I told you that the Pioneer Press food critic was coming in to talk state fair food, but he's running a little bit behind, and that is honestly probably because of all the construction that's happening on the roads. A big project that we want to mention here today is a big traffic shift that's happening on 394 East. This started yesterday, and it's part of the massive bridge and ramp repair project. So starting this week, eastbound 394 traffic shifted to just 2 lanes. It'll only be the easy pass lanes between Louisiana Avenue and downtown Minneapolis. This is already an area that is a huge bottleneck daily, even on the weekends, as the 394-94 interchange is right there, and it usually backs up for a couple miles already. Now it's down to 2 lanes between Louisiana Avenue and downtown Minneapolis. That is going to go through November. It's going to create quite a mess. So there's a live shot right there of 394 eastbound. Yep, you can see no traffic moving on those regular lanes, only on the easy pass lanes. As like I said, it's now down to those 2 lanes only as they do that bridge repair project. Kara Savage, you I know that you travel this a lot because you live in Minneapolis and you're working out in the West Metro. Mm-hmm. That is always
a mess.
Always a mess. Honestly, I'm not going downtown until this is done after November.
I mean,
you can't avoid it, but I'm thinking like Twins games. You know, you're going to a show at the Orpheum. Mm-hmm. All this stuff. Driving home from work. Do you know how many people are, driving downtown from the West Metro suburbs every day? It's going to be a mess for them. It's going to be a mess going to games, anything downtown. I am so not looking forward to this.
No. And I mean, a lot of people are taking different ways because that exit that goes on to East 94 and West 94, that's closed. So that's where the bulk of the traffic usually is getting onto that East 94 ramp. So that's like not, that's what's closed also.
Yeah,
so,
a lot of, all those off ramps are closed.
Yep.
So
it's a lot of people finding new ways to get home or to get anywhere.
Oof.
So I guess maybe that's why there doesn't seem to be much traffic. Currently.
Because that's closed now.
Right.
So what we're looking at is the Easy Pass lanes. Sorry, if you bring it up again, just so we can see it. What we're seeing there is the Easy Pass lanes are the only lanes of eastbound 394 traffic right now between Louisiana and downtown. That's a worker truck that you're seeing driving down there now. But yeah, what a mess. So yay for anyone who goes back and forth between the West Metro and downtown. Get ready, buckle up, give yourself a lot of extra time. In other news, Kara, what else we got to talk about? I'm looking for my notes, for my talker notes. What do we got going on here?
Well, we can talk about the man who deleted an invite to Taylor Swift's wedding.
Thank you.
Because this is something that we were talking
about. I'm
about.
having short-term amnesia right now as I search through my notes for what we were going to talk about today.
Okay.
Yeah, this is wild. Okay, so he's a music producer in Los Angeles, and his wife was on social media watching everyone go to this Taylor Swift wedding, and she said something to him like, "Honey, why weren't we invited?" And he's like, "Oh, I think we were. I accidentally deleted the text message."
I think he said he forgot, he didn't respond because he thought it was a spam text.
He thought it was spam. So he said, he got the text and he said, "Remember, honey, when I told you I got a text from Taylor's manager, but I didn't respond to it because it didn't sound like him." And his wife was like, "Well, because it was probably his assistant or something."
Right.
So she said she was extremely frustrated, but they've been married for 32 years. And what she realized in the end is if they can get through this, they can get through anything.
I think that's fair. I don't know if my relationship would survive that.
Well, she's a psychotherapist.
Yeah. I mean, it happens.
She's been a psychotherapist. She's a marriage and family counselor. So if anyone is equipped to deal with the fact that you were invited to the Taylor Swift wedding and accidentally deleted the invite, he said, "I thought it was somebody just trying to hack me." So,
I think that if you get a text invite to someone's wedding and you think it's a spam text, then maybe you don't deserve to go to that wedding.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, he worked with Taylor on one of the songs from her album Red back in 2012. She even had dinner with the family because it sounds like they were maybe working at an in-home studio that he has at their home in Topanga, California. So she's been to their home. She's worked with him on an album. She's eaten dinner with their family. And this lady's like, "Why didn't she invite us?" "Oh, honey, sorry, she did. I just deleted the text."
Just deleted the text.
So in the article, she says, "I feel bad. We didn't respond yes, but we also didn't respond no. Like, we just didn't respond at all." And I guess when you invite 1,000 people, there's not really a chance for follow-up. It's like you either said yes or you said no. There's no follow-up. If with the 70 people I invited to my wedding, if I didn't get an answer, I would have followed up. I didn't. All right, it sounds like we have our next guest on the line. I just have to pull up my notes so that I've got it right. But this has to do with the Animal Humane Society. They announced this week that they rescued 71 cats from a severely unsanitary living environment. The ammonia levels in the structure were dangerously high. The cats had no access to water, and the cats were living among piles of trash, carpets of feces, and crumbling walls. Sarah Bimani with the Animal Humane Society joins us now. Sarah, thanks for making the time to speak to us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, tell me about these cats. How did you discover them, and what conditions did you find them living in?
Yeah, so last week we got a call from a concerned neighbor who was worried about cats in an abandoned dwelling on her neighbor's property. And one of our humane agents immediately went out to assess the situation. And then on Tuesday this week, our critical response team went out to the property and removed 71 cats from that property.
So was there anyone caring for the cats? Did they have an owner at any time? Were they abandoned? What happened?
Yeah, so the property owner was doing their best. They were trying to care for these cats, but as we see quite frequently in our work, people with good intentions quickly get overwhelmed. A few cats can quickly reproduce and become many, many cats. And so we worked with the property owner. They were very cooperative. They wanted the best for these cats, and they signed over custody of the cats to us so that they could come to Animal Humane Society and get the care and love that they needed.
What condition were these cats in when you received them, and what kind of medical care are they receiving now?
Yeah, so they were very hungry. They're quite skinny. They didn't have any access to water, so they had some dehydration. We see a lot of respiratory illnesses with this, so runny noses, runny eyes. Some of the cats do have some wounds, either from living outside or maybe other cat fights. So they're getting their medical exams right now as we speak, and they'll get all of the necessary medical care that they need. All of them will need to be spayed or neutered before they're made available for adoption. Our behavior team will also examine all of the cats. A lot of them are starting to come out of their shell, and some of them are still pretty shy. So our behavior team will work with them to help them gain confidence before they head to adoption.
Now, in a situation like this, are there any implications for the individual who the cats were under the care of?
Yeah, so in this case in particular, I don't believe law enforcement was involved. This was a concerned citizen who reached out for help. And so, in those cases, we try to approach situations with no judgment, right? We're here to help. We know this person was trying to do their best and got overwhelmed. So we're really proud that we have the resources to go out and help community members and be a resource that others can rely on when they do get into situations like this.
Is there any way to make sure that that individual doesn't get a pet again, or do you guys follow up with the person to make sure that they haven't gone out and gotten more cats?
So it always depends on the situation. Certainly we do stay in touch with folks that we work with. This individual, also has a community that is aware of the situation and will be working with them as well. Other agencies tend to get involved as well.
Okay, great. And how soon before these cats will be healthy enough to be up for adoption? Because it sounds like a lot of them are in pretty rough shape.
Yeah, some of the cats that are maybe more social, maybe don't have quite as severe medical issues. I would say probably within the next week or so, you might start seeing some come up to our adoption center. But certainly some of them will have a longer road. So definitely anybody interested in adopting should just keep an eye on our website. That's the best place to see when they'll be available.
How does this compare to other cat hoarding, animal hoarding situations that you guys have responded to?
Yeah, certainly the number of cats was quite high. It's not the highest that we've ever seen, but certainly bringing in 71 cats requires all hands on deck. We had to be really intentional about making space for them, ensuring that we had all of the supplies we needed to care for them. I think in this case in particular, the ammonia levels inside the dwelling were some of the highest that we've seen. So our critical response team actually had full PPE on, including full face masks, in order to operate safely in that property.
Now, will you guys need to partner with other rescue groups? Because 71 cats is a lot of cats for you guys to take in one day.
Yeah. So, in this case, we are able to care for all of those cats here at our Golden Valley shelter. We're really fortunate that we have the space and the resources to respond to large cases like this. Sometimes we do work with our rescue partners on cases, when there's a lot of animals coming in or it's a really quick turnaround. We're a small community. We have to lean on each other to help these animals in need.
All right, Sarah with the Animal Humane Society, I so appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you.
All right. Like she said, it'll be several weeks still, but those 71 cats that were rescued by the Animal Humane Society will soon be up for an adoption. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back after this. Thanks for joining us here on Fox 9 all day. Let's take a check of your headlines. Well, oil prices are on the rise once again after President Trump announced yesterday the ceasefire with Iran is over. The news brings with it fears that the conflict will once again disrupt oil shipments through the Strait of Hormuz, and as a result, crude jumped more than 6% yesterday, while stocks slid. Investors obviously showing concern that higher energy prices could fuel inflation and push gas prices higher. And cleanup is underway in parts of southern Minnesota after flash flooding triggered water rescues Wednesday night. Several people and their pets were rescued from homes in Mower County, while floodwaters forced road closures and shut down part of Interstate 90. Officials are reminding drivers to never try to cross flooded roads. And Maine Democrat Graham Plattner is dropping out of the U.S. Senate race after multiple women accused him of sexual misconduct. Plattner denies these allegations, and he has for weeks now. But top Democrats urged him to step aside, allowing the party to choose a new candidate to challenge Republican Senator Susan Collins. And it was another big night for the Lynx and for their head coach, Cheryl Reeve. Minnesota beat the Connecticut Sun 86-80, giving Reeve her 380th regular season win, the most by any WNBA head coach in history. It's another milestone in Reeve's remarkable career. And start planning your state fair menu because the Minnesota State Fair has released its list of new foods. There are now 36 new foods available at the State Fair this year and 9 new vendors for the Great Minnesota Get Together. Kara Savage, which ones are you excited to try?
I'm most excited for the Farmers Union sandwich that they're coming out with. It's like a fried apple sandwich. That's probably what I'm most excited for.
The apple donut ham grinder.
Yeah, that.
I do think the brandy old-fashioned cookie dough looks good. I believe this
I'm
is...
not big into the cookie dough thing.
Really? I like the cookie dough on a stick is good. They have a vegan one where they don't use any
I didn't
butter.
know
So
that.
there you go. That's good.
There you go.
I am also very intrigued by the caramel apple iced tea.
Okay, I've never tried any of the iced teas from that stand, but I've heard good things.
Listen, I'm going for like beers when I'm at the state fair.
Same.
Like when I'm at the state fair eating salty food, I usually want a beer. But I wouldn't be opposed to trying a non-alcoholic drink if it's delicious. There's actually several non-alcoholic drinks on this list that look pretty good. There was also a mango sticky rice drink.
I did see that. Our morning show had that on today, I think.
Yeah, that looked really yummy. There is also a Blue Moon Crunch, which looks right up my children's alley.
I would have eaten that up when I was younger.
Yeah,
Let me find the picture.
let me tell you, it's blue shaved ice, and it looks like it has Fruity Pebble cereal on top. That looks like my worst nightmare for children and bedtime, but I would bet that my kids will be getting one.
I would have begged for this when I was younger.
Yeah.
Are your kids cotton candy ice cream kind of kids?
Man, if it has sugar in it, they want it, Kara.
Yeah.
They don't discriminate. Chocolate,
I respect it.
vanilla, strawberry, cotton candy, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If it's got sugar in it, they want it. And when we go to the state fair, it's tough because there's so many yummy.
You can't say no at the state fair.
Oh, but you have to, because if you want them to go to bed that night, you have to.
It's true.
Yeah, some new vendors too, Kara, we have to mention.
Yeah.
Dodo Pop is a new vendor. They're a soda company. They just put one up in Excelsior. It replaced an old Starbucks. It's like a drive-through soda stand. Very much reminds me of what you see in Utah. I've spent a lot of time in Utah when I was racing snowboards, and these soda shops are super popular there. So they serve a variety of different sodas with different creamers and such in them. Another new vendor, I'm going to totally mispronounce this, so I'm not even going to say it, but it's a Japanese confections stand. Look at that one.
Yeah, that looks delicious.
That-
I've seen this on TikTok.
Okay, so these are real pieces of fruit, but they have a hard candy shell around them. And I don't hate it. And that makes you feel less guilty about eating a
The
dessert.
grapes sound really good to me.
They all look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all looks good. So those are the 4 offerings that they'll have. And then Jive Turkey Barbecue is the next new vendor. I have no idea what that is, but it looks like mashed potatoes with turkey and all the fixings on there, and I'm here
I
for
think
it.
it's mac and cheese.
Oh, I'm here for it. Whatever it is.
I'd eat that.
Whatever
100%.
it is.
Wash it down with some pink lemonade.
Let me tell you, that looks good. Midtown Global Market's El Taco Toro, also a great addition. All the Midtown Global Market restaurants are just incredible. So cool to see them getting a spot at the State Fair. And then Minnesota's Original Apple Fries. That's a new vendor.
This seems really fun.
I'm into this. I want some. I would like some delivered to the studio tomorrow. So if anyone with the Minnesota Original Apple Fries is watching, our address is, please drop them off around
Please
2 p.m.
drop them off.
Yeah. And then Rune's Savories, another new vendor. Now, what does this look like, Kara?
This seems to be a waffle cone with some savory, like a bowl almost. It's almost like a bread bowl, but in a savory waffle cone.
Yeah, it looks like rice and mac and cheese in a waffle cone.
Well,
So-
the waffle cone looks like it has some herbs in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can get down with this. It's just a little too weird for me. But
Yeah, I
but
don't
it's
know. I would
handheld.
try it. That mac and cheese one looks pretty good.
It is handheld, which at the fair, if you ask me, handheld always wins because you've got like one hand pushing a stroller, the other hand holding a beer. You
And
know,
hopefully some napkins in your stroller.
oh, you always got napkins in your back pocket. Solemn's French fries. So just another French fry stand that's popping up at the State Fair. One more to add to the list. And then Summer Lake's Boathouse. So this looks fresh and yummy. Those dockside poppers made the list of new foods. So
And they have the bootleg brand. So have you ever had those
No.
cocktails? It's like it's like pre-made cocktail mocktail mix. I don't know. It's really good. Bootleg is one of my faves. I love
Okay.
bootleg.
okay, but is it? Well, I've had a bootleg like on the golf
Yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah. But this is also a brand that makes it so you can.
Oh,
They have it at
okay.
a lot of liquor stores, but
I love a bootleg.
I do love a bootleg as well.
It's basically a minty lemonade, but
it's kind of like a mojito.
it is very
Yeah.
similar to a mojito, enjoyed by golfers year-round.
Oh, yeah.
But those dockside poppers, those are cream cheese, bacon, artichoke hearts, and jalapeno peppers, combined, breaded, and lightly fried, served with homemade tomato chili jam. So, yep, those are the 9 new vendors at the Minnesota State Fair. So, lots of new food, new vendors.
You also forgot the Saturday Dumpling Company. They have.
Oh, okay. I missed one then. Okay, the dumpling
That's okay.
company. I love dumplings.
Me too. I do
Great.
love the Saturday Dumpling Company as well.
Do you usually go to the state fair once, twice? I mean, are you just a one time and then you're done, or are you got to go a couple times?
I've worked at the fair for many years, so I've spent a lot of like spread out days where like I can try one thing, which I always enjoy. That was always my favorite thing about working the fair. My family probably goes once or twice probably.
If I wasn't working full time, I would
Yeah.
definitely go twice. We limit it to once, usually with the kids. I mean, just because schedules are really busy.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had it my way, I would go once with friends and do one of the shows at the grandstand
Yep.
and get some food and some beers and go to the show at the grandstand, and then do a whole other day with the kids and at the midway and doing the food and the rides and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So
I used to always go the first day of the fair with my family. I don't know if it's going to happen again this year, but
yeah, do you guys
we
keep
go-
as you grow up, as you become adults with your own lives? Do you still go with your mom, or do you?
oh
know?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I still go with my mom we usually go on the first day of the fair, me and my mom do. And then my sister usually comes in town for one of the weekends, so then we have to go again. But my mom, what she does, which I respect, she likes to go alone one of the days. She likes to go alone and do all the things that she likes to do. She likes to walk around the horticulture building on her own, take her sweet time. No one's like, we need to get here, we need to get there. She gets to just enjoy her day.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And well, you're from St. Paul, so
Yeah.
she's got a very easy
Yes.
commute over to the fairgrounds.
It's a quick 10-minute shuttle ride.
Yeah, that's great. And I like that the state fair is like a family tradition where I hear this a lot, where people go with their parents even into their adult years. So it's something
Yeah.
that you continue to do as a family, and I think that's one of the great things about the Minnesota State Fair.
Oh yeah, we're not quite the family that wears matching shirts, but that could be us someday.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
I'm not into that, but I have a scary feeling that my sister and my mom would be.
Good for them. All right, we are still waiting on the Pioneer Press food critic to get here, and he will be tasting some of these foods with us and breaking it all down. He's an expert on Minnesota State Fair food and its history, and so we're excited to have him in the show. As soon as he arrives, I think he's been stuck in traffic, so when he gets here, we'll bring him in. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this. welcome back. Well, as you've heard, because we've been talking about it all afternoon, the Minnesota State Fair has released its list of new foods and new vendors for this year's Great Minnesota Get Together. The expert on State Fair food joins us now. Jared Kaufman is the food critic from the Pioneer Press. Jared, thanks for coming on the show again.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be back.
Last time you were here, you said that you are an avid Minnesota State Fair food fan.
Always happy to talk about the State Fair.
How many state fairs have you been to?
Oh, I've been going my entire life.
Your entire life? Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
This is a lifelong tradition. I go, even when I don't have to for work, I'm there.
That's amazing. How many? So we were just talking about this. How many times do you usually go? Like, are you a one and done? Are you like 5 days every day?
I've never made it every day.
Okay.
I think my record was 8 or 9 days a couple of years ago because I had food to eat, I had beverages to do, I had stories to report, and then of course I have to go for fun.
Well, totally. You can't try it all in one day, and that's
Right.
part of the problem.
Right.
Okay, so let's talk about some of this new food. I think the one that's getting the most attention in my mind is this pickle pie.
Yeah, I
Okay?
was intrigued by that.
Okay, so the pickle pie. What do you know about this pickle pie? Is it a new vendor or is it just
It's
a
not.
new
So
item?
it's from Lulu's Public House, and they have been around for a while. They were the ones who came out with the deep fried ranch a couple of years ago that I think we all thought was going to be bad, and it turned out to be really delicious. So they have some tricks up their sleeve. But yeah, I think it's...
So it's been described as a pie crust filled with a blend of chopped pickles, pickle juice, and cream cheese, topped with homemade savory whipped frosting made with ranch and Cholula hot sauce, garnished with gherkin and a sprinkle of dill. You're gonna taste this one for me. And have you tried this yet? Is this
No,
your
I've
your
tried
first
none of them.
taste?
Yes. Right
my-
here and now, live
Wow, live
on air.
on TV.
There are 2 spoons. Are we trying this together?
Oh, okay. You want me to try it too? I'm really scared. I'm not going to lie, because many people in the newsroom have been trying this today and saying it's like they don't love it, but yeah, it's cheesy. You're a food critic, so I'm very interested in. It's clearly not a pie. It is a savory pie.
Yes.
It tastes like cream cheese.
Yeah, it tastes like what I would want on a bagel.
Totally.
Just without the bagel, and maybe that's the pie crust. I feel like I couldn't really get the pie crust fully, so maybe I didn't get the full experience.
If you were writing
not-
a food review of this right now, what would it say?
It's not the worst thing I've ever seen done with a pickle. Not even the worst thing I've ever seen done with a pickle at the State Fair.
And that's the headline.
That's that. Yeah, that's right.
the headline. It's
I'll
not the worst
take that
thing.
to my grave.
It's not the worst thing I've ever seen done with a pickle. Speaking of pickles, we also have the dill pickle cookie. Now this I am very interested to try. Whereas this was very cream cheesy, like you said, this tasted like something that should be spread on a bagel. This is supposedly, and I'm going to give you,
Thank
you're
you.
going to get your taste. This is supposedly cookie because I see white.
There's white chocolate chips in here.
There's white chocolate chips in here.
Which I was reading the description, and that kind of threw me off.
It's sweet. That is not what I was expecting. The dill is very mild. The dill is not overwhelming. I do see what appears to be like pickle in the cookie. So
Yeah. I don't really get much
Oh,
pickle
my-
at all.
producer just said take the bite with the pickle in
Okay,
it.
fair.
Yep. That is way more pickly. Okay. So this there
kinda
Jared,
works.
you got to have some with the pickle in it.
Okay.
So I'm trying to find my description of the pickle cookie. But it is essentially a white chocolate chip sugar cookie with pickles and dill. And my takeaway from that is the dill is not overwhelming.
No.
They sell it as a dill pickle cookie, but all I can really taste,
Kind of just a white chocolate chip cookie.
that's all I
which
taste.
I'm not mad at.
Yeah, that's
but-
all I taste.
Yeah.
So for you as a food critic, when they come out and they say, oh, dill pickle cookie, and then you taste it and it tastes just like a regular cookie, is that a disappointment? Like, did you want more pickle?
I think so, because I think I'm looking for the novelty. That's part of what I think is fun about, even looking at, this is not the first year that pickles have been popular, and I think there's been, a lot of things done with pickles. Some of them are good, some of them are not good, and I think part of what I'm looking for is, if you're gonna go, you gotta commit. Go all the way.
There has been a big shift towards heavy pickle foods in recent years. The dill pickle pizza.
Yeah.
the pickle fries, which I was a fan of. I know many people were.
I like them also.
Yeah,
I think they were good.
Many people were disappointed by them. I like them. Dill pickle beer. Why has pickle flavor become so popular at the state fair?
That's a good question. I've thought a lot about that. I think the dill pickle pizza really kicked things off. I think people were kind of surprised by how popular that was. And I think some of it is, for better or for worse, kind of chasing that high, chasing that trend. But I mean, I think it's also like a good summer flavor. Like it's tangy and acidic and bright, and on a hot day, like, you want something that's going to cut through the heat and cool you down. And I think sometimes a pickle can do that. But I think some pickle applications, like pickle pizza, makes sense. There was a pickle fudge a couple years ago that I feel like did not work so well. So you got to kind of lean into the savoriness of the pickle, I think, which is part of what I was wondering if this cookie would do.
Right. Now, when you look at this list, 36 new food items. As a food critic, are you able to taste all 36 in one state fair?
We do. Yeah,
do?
The first day. So the
Wow.
very first day of the fair, we get there bright and early, and we taste all the official new foods and try to stop by all the new vendors as well. And
So do you try and taste all 36 on that first day? So you're just taking one bite of each item?
yeah, you feel terrible at the end of the day. But yeah, so we have a tasting panel that we bring with us. So it's a couple people from the Pioneer Press and a couple former Pioneer Press people and friends and colleagues, and so we'll bring a huge group and we'll split all the foods up and we'll each take a little bite and give our tasting notes. And then at the end of the night, we rank the top. Usually, we do the top 10, bottom 10, and share our thoughts.
What was one of the tops from last year for you?
Ooh.
Am I racking your memory right now?
I really liked at the Blue Barn. They had the sweet squeakers, I think they were called, those breakfast cheese curds.
Okay,
I thought that was really good.
sounds good.
We start our day at the Blue Barn.
Okay.
And you had, were you talking to Steph Shimp today?
She was on one of our earlier
Okay.
hours with Rob, yeah.
And she does great work. And I'm excited to see the crackle and corn ribs are on I had highlighted that, and that was at the Blue Barn, and that's going to be a good way to start the day.
Talk to us about the crackling corn ribs, because they do look delicious.
They look so good.
Okay, what are they?
So it's corn cut in kind of like a corn cob cut in a quarter, and you eat it like a rib, but it's coated with a variety of other toppings, kind of like a street corn kind of style, but a little bit more handheld, a little bit more portable. And then I think it looks like they're serving it on a bed of pork rinds too, which is fun.
Yeah, corn cob quarters dipped in tempura batter, then fried and brushed with butter, topped with bacon ranch, green onion, and candied jalapenos. Yep, served on a bed of pork rinds. Yum. What else from this long list are you looking at going, that is unique, or that's something I want to try?
Yeah, I feel like when I was looking through the list this morning, I was trying to find that like the headline weird item, like the deep fried ranch or the uncrusted burger with the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches from last year, and I didn't really find the one standout. So I'm not quite sure what that's going to end up being yet, but I love like a loaded fry or a loaded tot. I think that's really successful at the state fair usually. So I'm happy to see that there was like Jamaican loaded fries on the list and elote tots. I think those are going to be really good.
So we did have some of the elote tots,
Oh,
but
okay.
they were brought in this morning, and we thought, we're not going to put Jared through that, making him eat soggy, hours-old tots. So
Very thoughtful,
we're not.
thank you.
Yes, we're not going to try those. But those probably are the most talked about from what I'm seeing on social media. The deep-fried tater tots tossed in tahini and topped with an elote-style sauce made with roasted corn, diced peppers, cheddar cheese, crema, and cream cheese. Finished with a cojita cheese. Yeah, so I mean, anything tots seems to be very popular. When you think about state fair food, some of these things on this list, I have to say, it's like they get a little crazy. Mm-hmm. Do you ever taste a food and go, they were trying too hard?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Sometimes, like, you see what they're going for, and it just didn't quite stick the landing. And I feel like that's almost more tragic than if it's just bad to start out with. Because sometimes they get so close, and it just doesn't work. Something that I'm kind of concerned about looking at this year's list, frankly, is there are a lot of creamy items. So like besides this pie that we just tried, there's like a couple of like cake layered sundaes. There's one item that looks to just be like essentially a large bowl of whipped cream. And that is not up my alley, I'll say. I feel like that's not exactly what I'm looking for on like a hot day at the fair.
What are you looking for at a hot day at the fair? And I get what you're saying, because if it's too much cream, too much dairy, it's too heavy.
Yes.
And then it makes me feel not great, and I can't enjoy the fair to its fullest. So when you think about what kind of foods, textures, flavors that you're looking for a perfect state fair food, what is it?
I'm looking for crunch. I'm looking for something portable, something walkable. I mean, like, there's a reason that everything is on a stick. It's a cliche for a reason. It works. And I'm looking for something that is not too salty, not too saucy, something that, you know, you're not going to like get all over yourself, but that's not too dry. Like, you need kind of something in the middle. A lot of people have started, so there's two camps here, I think. Some people will do like a drizzled sauce over the top. Some people will do like a dipping sauce, and then you'll kind of dip it yourself. I don't know which one I prefer, but I appreciate that there are the options there.
The handheld to me is key, because I'm like pushing a stroller with one hand. I've got hands full. The handheld is key to me. So when it has a fork, it's off for me. It's not going to happen for me. When you think about years past, because this has become such a big thing for the state fair, the big release of the new foods, and what are the new foods? When you think about the last like 5 years, 10 years, recent history, were there any new foods that landed and like have remained popular?
Yes, and I think the ones that have done that are the ones that like take a classic Minnesota ingredient and turn it into something a little bit different. So I'm thinking about like the deep fried ranch, or the pickled pizza, or even like Baba's. They're like last year, one of the new foods that they had last year was the falafel waffle. And I think that's going to stand the test of time for a similar reason. Savory, crunchy, take something that people kind of know, something that people are a little familiar with, and twists it in a fun direction. So I think that's the key.
What's your advice to people going to the fair who want to try a variety of foods, but they're only going to go one day? What's your best advice for making sure that you get a wide array of flavors, but that you don't overdo it?
Why are you trying to not overdo it? That's the whole point.
Fine.
That's
Maybe
the whole
not.
point. You want to overdo it.
Okay, maybe not overdo it, but you want to. What's your game plan going in? What should be my game plan going in if I'm going to the fair and I want to taste a variety of different foods?
I think.
Is there like a place to start? Is there a method to how to do it?
So we usually start, so I'll just say, when we're tasting on the first day, when we're trying to taste all the new foods in one day, we will plan out a map, we'll plan out our route, we'll go in kind of a semicircle. So we'll start at the Blue Barn and the West End, we'll go down, and then we'll kind of loop back up and around. So we'll hit the International Bazaar, we'll hit the food building. I think find the things that look delicious to you and seek those out. I think that there is definitely something to be said for like participating in whatever the viral trend might be. Like, if everybody's talking about the elote tots and you want to try it, go for it. But if that doesn't sound good to you, like, don't make yourself eat something that you don't want to eat. The point of the state fair is that there are so many options that you get to find exactly what you're looking for.
Also, for me, I often find that those really popular items, the line's an hour long. And I don't want to waste an hour of my one day at the state fair to wait in line for an hour. I'll try it the next year when the buzz has died down.
That's what I thought. That's how I feel about those Amish donuts. And I thought that the buzz would die down, and it still hasn't. The lines are still hours long.
The pickle pizza.
Yeah, same. Exactly.
The line is so long. I still have not tried the pickle pizza because the lines have been long for years. We appreciate you. Jared Kaufman, he's the food critic with Pioneer Press. They will be releasing their review of all the state fair foods on day one.
On day one.
Day one of the state fair, so you can find that on the Pioneer Press. And you know what, Jared, will you come back after you've tasted them all and give us your full
Absolutely.
roundup?
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll debrief.
Amazing. Jared Kaufman from the Pioneer Press, food critic. You're going to leave with this dill pickle pie because I'm not finishing it. That's a little heavy for me. So appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this. welcome back. Well, it was a big night for the Lynx. They beat the Connecticut Sun 86-80. But in even bigger news, Cheryl Reeve broke an all-time WNBA record. She now becomes the winningest coach in the WNBA with her 380th regular season win. Dawn Mitchell joins me now to talk all about it. Dawn, you've been covering Cheryl for many, many years.
Yeah.
Did you guys get to speak to her last night? Did she talk to the media after the game last night?
She did talk to me. They did a Zoom because they're in Connecticut. She continues just to dominate everything coaching. This is almost like the last vestibule, if you will, because she was already most total wins, including postseason. So she had already had that, but it included the postseason. So that she had 430 wins that way. But to have even the regular season and surpass Mike Tebow, who she's friends with. So now with 380 regular season wins, she has 4 head coaching championships, WNBA. 6 if you include the 2 when she was an assistant with Detroit. Plus she's got a gold medal as head coach of Team USA. She was just inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, and now she's got all of the regular season. So she is the winningest coach in WNBA history. And to see her enjoy it, I've noticed that over the past couple of years, she's really allowed herself to kind of open up and enjoy things a little bit more. So that's been really cool to see.
Did she? I can see her being extremely humble about it, and I didn't watch her post-game interview. I could see her being humble about it. Did she acknowledge what a milestone this is?
She did. She said she's not built that way to think about it. But it was kind of hanging over her head because I think media, her players, everyone is like, because they're on a 2-game losing streak, the most they had been on all year, right? So they were just waiting to get it out of the way. Then they lost. Then they were waiting to get it out of the way the next one. Then they lost again. So this is like the 3rd time. I think we're just like, all right, let's get it done with. I just needed one more. So, but she said she was more concentrating on breaking their losing streak and winning and beating the Connecticut Sun, a team that had beat them Monday just the same week, so they were back-to-back home and home games. So I think with her, after being inducted into the Hall of Fame, after winning golds, after winning championships and being in the middle of the season, these accolades or something that she'll appreciate more. But what she did say in her post-game interview, which I thought was really cool, she said she did take a moment to kind of reflect a little bit, like talking with Rebecca Brunson and Lindsay Whalen, who played for her, even Janelle McCarville, but Janelle hasn't been with her that long as a coach, just to kind of have that moment with a former player. And she has seen those players go into the Hall of Fame. It's just kind of cool that you could see she was a little bit emotional. And also she was dancing in the locker room, which if you're going to watch the news coming up at 6 o'clock, we have some sound from it. And she's just so hilarious because I don't know if you remember, she calls it AI Cheryl. When it was during the All-Star game, the stud buds, and they had her like during the All-Star game dancing, and she's like, I don't know who that was. That must be AI, And then with Balloon Gate, she's like, I don't know, AI. And so someone asked her, was that AI Cheryl? And she goes, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about because I was in another locker room. And she did it so deadpan, and then she looks at the camera and just smiles.
She is funny. I mean,
Yeah.
she has this dry humor.
Yes.
That she will say something with a straight face, and you have to kind of take a minute and go, wait, was she kidding or
Yeah.
was she serious?
And Lindsay Whalen used to be like that as a player too. I mean, I think we all know now how funny Lindsay is,
Yeah.
but they can drop that deadpan kind of on you. And let me tell you, it was no joke. Cheryl was not happy at halftime. They were not playing well. It looked like they were going to lose their 3rd straight, and she said it was not a happy locker room at halftime. So I bet you the players were also relieved. Like, okay, we won. Okay, we got this. Okay, we that little extra bounce in the step, if you will. But to see Cheryl holding a champagne glass and kind of dancing around the cooler, and then just kind of, she brought the champagne glass with her to the the post-game interview. So
That's great.
Yeah, it was really great to see.
What do you think makes her so successful?
Well, first of all, she's just a wizard at the game, right? She knows the game inside and out, and she knows how to translate what she wants into her players. And she's tough. She can be a tough coach, but she's so good at it. And what I have noticed over the years, what I love about Cheryl Reeve is she also coaches herself in terms of athletes are different now. It's like how do I have to adjust to get the most out of it? Like Courtney Williams is the best example. Courtney, she said, first of all, how Courtney talks to me, I think in the past I wouldn't have allowed players to talk to me. Like, she's funny, first of all, and the humor gets, but I also let her be herself. And that's another thing that Cheryl said in her post-game interview, that she was so appreciative of the people that have allowed her as a coach to be herself. She said, and I wrote the quote down, they let me be me. And, you know, she's outspoken. You know, she rips her jacket off if she's mad. You know, she speaks her mind, and sometimes, and we know this as smart, strong women, sometimes that's not always acceptable. Sometimes it's frowned upon.
Yeah.
And so for her to be able to be herself and, you know, unabashedly, if you will, and then to see the success that follows, and then for her to also be like, yeah, now I have noticed I can have a little bit more fun. Yeah. It might be a byproduct of being a champion and being into the Hall of Fame and as good as you are, but I also think it is a byproduct of just being in that role long enough and knowing what works, what doesn't, this new crop of athletes, what works and doesn't. And you have to be able to change yourself and still be that brilliant basketball mind. I think that's what Cheryl has.
It's really encouraging for women, young girls to watch, but also for women, because like you said, I mean, she comes out there, she's a strong female presence, and she doesn't apologize for that.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Olivia Miles was voted Rookie of the Month for the second month in a row. What is Cheryl saying about her players? I mean, she's got Olivia Miles on fire. Nafisa's supposed to come back pretty soon. You talked about Courtney Williams, but Olivia's like, I mean, she's up for Rookie of the Year.
She is. Let's just hope. She's dealing right now with a right calf injury, so she's missed the last 2 games, and we're just hoping that that won't be something worse. To see the cutaway, that's what we call, like, you know, when you look away from the game. When you see a cutaway of she and Nafisa Collier sitting on the bench and you're just like, oh, that even hurts even more. So to see them, I'm just hoping the 2 of them will be on the court sooner rather than later. But when you have someone, again, like Olivia Miles, who is her own person, you know, like she is trash talking as a rookie on the court. And coach is allowing it because she's also respectful away from it. You know, it's part of the game. She's allowing Liv to be herself. And I think that's just kind of blossomed her game. So let's hope she gets back to it. You got to be careful with some calf strains. So hopefully she'll be okay.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Don Mitchell, I appreciate you joining us to talk about the Lynx and to talk about Cheryl Reeve, an incredible accomplishment. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. We're going to skip going to a break because we have another interview on the line. The Country Club Music Festival is coming to town this weekend, and we've got one of the acts joining me now. Hey, guys.
Hi.
All right, we are so excited for this music festival this weekend. It is the first one ever, the inaugural one. Tell us what people can expect when it comes to the music festival this weekend.
I mean, obviously a lot of great country music. We're Next of Kin. We're a trio out of Austin, Texas. And we're so excited to be playing the Minnesota Country Club Fest this Friday.
Yeah, you can expect 3-part harmonies from our set, start to finish. And lots of very obvious love and care for everyone in our band.
So Next of Kin, you guys are, you said you're from Austin, Texas, but I understand that you, I thought you were from Duluth. Or you play with Trampled by Turtles. You play with Trampled by Turtles a lot, is that right? No. Okay. My producer was wrong. That's what she told me.
We are from Austin, Texas. We do love Trampled by Turtles, but
Who
this is
doesn't?
our first time playing in Minnesota, and yeah, we are from Texas, but we are excited to be out here this weekend.
Wonderful. Okay, so you guys are playing tomorrow night. You're a trio. So it's you guys are like a folk country band, right? Is that how you would describe yourselves?
Yeah, we're like folk country Americana adjacent, and our set is tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. So we're kicking things off at the Albatross stage. There's some really amazing acts that follow us.
Including Charlie Crockett,
Richie Mitch and the Coal Miners. There's 2 stages, and yeah, it's just a day full of really great music today and tomorrow.
Good vibes.
So something that I read about the music festival that is unique and allows people to really soak in all kinds of different music is that there's no overlapping sets. So while there's two different stages, they'll never have artists on at the same time. What do you guys like about that format?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really great to have concurrent stages because everyone who's attending can get a little bit of everything if they wanted to, and the people that are performing don't, feel as intense of pressure to like compete or, have to worry about that for their set. So I just think it allows everybody to really get to experience as much as they want of the festival without having to make sacrificial choices.
Right. The company behind the festival is also behind Austin City Limits, which you guys are obviously very familiar with. They're also behind Lollapalooza and behind the Minnesota Yacht Club Festival. When you think about those festivals and then you think about the Country Club Festival, is there anything that this organizer has pulled from those festivals that will also be similar here?
I think that C3, the organizer who runs these festivals, they're super organized and they have a really great way of picking different artists and sounds. So when you come to these festivals, you may not, like this festival, for example, it's not just strictly country. There's like country adjacent acts as well, and that's seen throughout other festivals like Lollapalooza, Austin City Limits, etc. So I think there's a good, vast amount of artists and sounds you can hear, which is really awesome.
And this is your first time performing in Minnesota. What are your expectations?
I mean, I have some family that lives in Minnesota, so hey. But I mean, the weather is beautiful. We're happy to escape the Texas heat and bring our music here to this state. So if you like the Chicks, Shania, you'll probably like us. So we hope to see you tomorrow, Friday, at 1:30 p.m.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, it takes place at Harriet Island Regional Park, right along the Mississippi, an absolutely beautiful setting. But if you're not into country music, should we give it a shot?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I feel like our band specifically is country adjacent. Like we pull from so many country influences, but we also pull from singer-songwriter, pop. So it definitely, I think, is for audiences that love country and also for audiences that maybe felt like they, didn't feel super seen in country music or, didn't have much interest in it. So I think that I would encourage those people the most to come. So.
Amazing. Next of kin out of Austin, Texas, not out of Duluth, like my notes said. But I love that. Maybe you guys should hook up with Trampled by Turtles, and you guys can talk about
shout
that.
out. We're available.
Yeah,
We just manifested that.
Right. I just manifested it for you. So maybe you guys can start.
Thank you.
You're going on tour with Trampled by Turtles next year. There you go.
Thank you.
Next of kin is performing tomorrow at the Minnesota Country Club Festival. They will perform at 1 p.m. The festival goes throughout the weekend at Harriet Island Regional Park. Thanks for joining me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having us.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this. Is on. There it is. There's the mic. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. This is the part of the show where we like to take a look at what's trending online. Sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's sad, but it's what people are talking about online in a segment that we like to call, Wait, What's Happening? This first one is a shocker. I've seen this all over the news in the last couple days. I saw the video which started circulating around social media. It has to do with an athletic club in California. You're going to see here on the video how this athletic club worker tosses one of the kids into the air, and you can see on the video that he goes over her head and she fails to catch him. So the parents of this 23-month-old child are now suing the Bay Club in El Segundo, California, as they say that he received head trauma, a traumatic brain injury, and hearing loss after the employee failed to catch him. So, yeah, pretty stunning video there. Just she whips him up over her head, and then he falls on the floor. The lawsuit claims that the club misrepresented the circumstances of the incident when notifying the family of their child's fall. The Bay Club has not commented, saying that they cannot comment on ongoing litigation. And a woman who was planning to take a hot air balloon trip says that nature sent me a Yelp review. That's right, because when she showed up, this is what she saw. She says she was planning to take a hot air balloon ride with her son in East Texas when she was abruptly dissuaded when the balloon crashed into a parked car mid-takeoff right in front of her. So Caitlin Thibodeau captured this video on June 12th. She and her son were going to book a hot air balloon ride in Longview. So that's why they were there. They were there looking to book a hot air balloon ride when they shockingly witnessed this. Nature's Yelp review, Kara, live in action.
I can't imagine being like, oh yeah, let's go take a hot air balloon, and you just pull up into a parking lot in a suburb, in what looks like it's like just some suburban area.
Yeah, this looks like a Walmart parking lot. Like,
yeah, this does not seem like the place to take a hot air balloon ride.
Yeah,
So that should have been the first.
It should have been the number one red flag. Like the
100%.
hot air balloon is taking off from a Walmart parking lot. Maybe we should turn around.
Maybe this isn't the vibe, because I mean, well, you're going up in a hot air balloon. Like, what are you looking at? Like the Walmart or?
Yeah, no. I have no information about whether the individual that was on that hot air balloon at the time is okay. I hope they are okay. I'm assuming they're okay. But yeah, this happened in Texas, and I think that
Not really my. I would turn away as well.
Yeah, so needless to say, the woman and her son did not end up going on the hot air balloon
Shocker.
ride. So their mother-son hot air balloon date was ruined, as she said that God sent her a message. It was nature sent me a Yelp review.
Nature sent me a Yelp review. I like that.
Yeah, I don't. What I wonder, Kara, is can the hot air balloon company survive this? Because now this video is going viral. Does the company survive this? Will anyone go to that hot air balloon company? Listen, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. It was a fluke. Maybe something happened. This is a once in a lifetime thing. It's never happened before. They're good operators. But who's going to book a ride with them now that this video has gone viral?
I wouldn't.
The internet has spoken.
But I mean, everyone makes mistakes, but also I can't get over the fact that I don't understand how they're taking off in a hot air balloon in a parking lot where there are cars. Like, am I pulling into the same parking lot that the hot air balloon is taking off in? Like, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
maybe I don't know anything about hot air balloons.
Maybe it's not. Maybe the parking lot, it's an abandoned mall or something, and so the parking lot's empty.
True. Yeah.
I can't imagine that they would. Although, you know what? There's not a lot of rules in Texas, so.
Right, there is that part.
In Texas, you can pretty much do what you want. It's like you can own a Tiger. You can drive your motorcycle without a helmet. There are no rules in Texas.
Yep.
So I'm not totally shocked that a hot air balloon is able to operate in a parking lot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I hope that woman and her son found something else fun to do that didn't take them hundreds of feet in the air.
Agreed.
What a day. What a day to be alive. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we will take a look at your headlines, and we'll talk about some things that people are talking about today, just in the news. Stay right there. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us here on Fox 9 All Day. I'm Courtney Godfrey. Well, oil prices are on the rise once again after President Donald Trump announced yesterday the ceasefire with Iran is over. The news brings with it new fears that the conflict will once again disrupt oil shipments through the Strait of Hormuz. And as a result, crude jumped more than 6% yesterday, while stocks slid. Investors obviously showing concern that higher energy prices could fuel inflation and push gas prices higher. And cleanup is underway across southern Minnesota after flash flooding triggered water rescues Wednesday night. Several people and their pets were rescued from homes in Mower County, while floodwaters forced road closures and shut down part of Interstate 90. Officials are reminding drivers, once again, to never try and cross a flooded roadway. And Maine Democrat Graham Plattner is dropping out of the U.S. Senate race after multiple women accused him of sexual misconduct. Plattner denies the allegations, but after these most recent ones, top Democrats urged him to step aside, allowing the party to choose a new candidate to challenge Republican Senator Susan Collins. And as we just spoke with Don Mitchell about, it was a big night for the Lynx and for Cheryl Reeve. It was a historic one. In fact, Minnesota beat the Connecticut Sun 86-80. And in the same night, Cheryl Reeve became the winningest coach in WNBA history. So that was her 380th regular season win, the most by any WNBA coach. In other news today, we've been talking about it all day, but we've got the Fair Foods that just got announced, 36 official new foods and 9 new vendors. We've got the full list of those foods on our website. This is a headline that also caught my eye today. The U.S. Treasury is now accepting Venmo donations through pay.gov. So if you as an American want to voluntarily contribute toward reducing the country's national debt, this donation program apparently has been around for decades. Who knew? But now they're adding Venmo as a way to chip in. So the national debt has risen to more than $39 trillion. And I guess every penny counts, Kara Savage?
I guess. I mean, I looked this up, and this has been a thing for a little bit where you have been able to Venmo them. I just saw it recently on Instagram.
Never heard of it until today.
Never heard of it until today.
Listen.
I even think it's weird, you know, and like sometimes you have to go on Venmo and Venmo people. I feels like Venmo is a very informal thing in my eyes. It's something I Venmo my friends for things, and
Right,
you know,
you guys split dinner at the restaurant
Right.
and you Venmo them. your
right,
half
or
of the
someone
order.
pays for both flights, and you're you know, things like that. But I can't imagine thinking to myself like, okay, let me Venmo the U.S. Treasury.
Let me Venmo the government who already taxes me.
Right.
I did donate to the U.S. Treasury. In fact, I donate every day when I buy goods. I donate every day every day. I'm getting taxed on everything every day. And every year in April, I file my tax return. The IRS is taking money out of every single one of my checks. Why am I donating to the U.S. Treasury?
Right. I just can't imagine.
They take money
That's
out
what
of
I'm gonna
every
do with my
single one of my
money.
paychecks. Every paycheck. Why
don't-
would I? And I would voluntarily donate to reduce the debt?
I want to know who is Venmoing them.
Someone who needs their mental health
I
checked.
wonder if their Venmos are public, where you can go and check their Venmo account and you can like see who they've been Venmoing or who's been Venmoing them.
When I go on Venmo, I will like go through and see, who's paying who for what? Is that weird?
100%.
Do you do that?
I don't do it like I don't seek it out, but it's like sometimes I'll be on the app and I'll just end up scrolling through and I'm like, oh,
That's
they
what I'm
must have
saying.
went out last night, like paying for an Uber or someone ordered Taco Bell, and
That's what I'm saying. It's like when I get on Venmo to pay somebody, you know, I owe somebody money, I get on Venmo to pay them. I'm paying a babysitter is usually what it is.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, let me see what this person that I went to high school with that I haven't seen for 20 years is paying for. Oh, it looks like they've got a roommate. They're splitting the bill. They paid them for the power bill.
Yep. That's all of my Venmos. It's like paying for the power bill and.
Oh, and here's my friend from high school who's paying their cleaner. I don't know.
There you go.
It
is a whole thing. It is a whole thing.
Do people know that you can turn that off?
Yeah.
You don't-
I don't know if some people know how to.
I mean,
I don't know. But it is a whole thing among Gen Z where like you're stalking people's Venmo of like if there's like a guy you like or someone will stalk like their ex and they're like, oh, he's seen someone new, he just Venmoed this girl. That's like a whole thing among Gen Z.
if you were dating a guy who's now Venmoing a girl for a date, honey, you ain't missing out, okay? He was a loser, and he didn't deserve you in the first place.
That's what, okay, I agree, especially now at my age. Remember when I was in college, it was a little bit more of like, maybe they're going to get some casual food, like it's not really like a date, you know, or you Venmoing each other.
He met a new girl. And he's
That's how
Venmoing
you
her.
know. I have friends, that's how they found out that their exes were seeing new people.
Wow.
I have never done that.
Sure. I see. I'm just happy to know that other people, when they open the app, actually go through and see, like, oh, what are they paying for? I feel a little less creepy now. So thank you, Kara.
Yeah, no shame.
No shame in that game. In other news, we talked about the wedding invite, Taylor's wedding that the guy missed, which is just crazy. So let's move on because we already talked about that. Bethany Frankel of Real Housewives, was she Real Housewives of New York? Real Housewives of New York fame. She has invested in a Minnesota-based hair care company.
Yep.
So DP Hue is a Minneapolis-based premium hair. They do hair color. They also have some like apple cider vinegar wash and some gloss products. They are run by the Polads. So two of the Polad ladies run this company. And Bethany Frankel has taken an ownership stake in the company. The financial terms, of course, were not disclosed. It's a private company, so we don't know how much of the company she owns, but she is now a major investor, and she's also been named chief brand officer for the company. So
she's doing a lot.
Listen, Bethany Frankel is a busy lady.
She's very busy. She's a Sports Illustrated person, right?
She was for the second year in a row. She
I thought
was
so.
featured in the swimsuit edition of
Yeah.
Sports Illustrated, and she walked the catwalk during Miami Fashion Week. And let me tell you, she's like in her 50s. She looks great.
She looks great, and she does it all. She's on TikTok, and she does her supermodel snacks.
So the question is, will Bethany Frankel's name be able to propel this Minnesota hair brand company to the next level? Do you think that her name carries enough weight that it will help propel the brand?
I think she has a large following, and I don't think it's impossible.
She has a...
I don't know much about this hair care brand.
I have actually tried it.
Okay.
I have actually tried it. This was years ago, but they had donated a basket at a charity auction, and it had like some of their. They had an apple cider vinegar wash.
Okay.
So it's a shampoo for your hair, but because it's apple cider vinegar, it doesn't strip your hair of its natural goodness, I guess, and it doesn't really lather. So it just cleans your hair. I liked it. I also got like a hair mask, and I liked it. So, but they've expanded since I've tried them. Now they're into hair color and glosses.
Yeah, there's like a whole line. I looked into it earlier.
Yes. So Bethany Frankel, though, she has a really good track record. She built Skinny Girl cocktails, which...
That's her?
Yes. You didn't know that?
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
That company, I'm actually looking up how much it's worth, because that company is, what is the value of Skinny Girl brand? Because she's in every store. I mean, they sell that in Target. They sell it in every liquor
It's
store,
worth
Walmart.
between 100 and 120 million.
Wow. She also is... well, she sold the company in 2011. So she sold it for $120 million. And since then, she has done a lot of other brands. She has more than 7 million social media followers. And I don't know if you know this, she became very popular on her social media in recent years because she does cosmetic reviews. So she loves to go to the drugstore and buy cheap makeup and then review it.
Love that.
And she has elevated some brands. So now her reviews have become so popular because she's so honest. She would also review really high-end stuff. And it's funny because she'll be like, this stuff, it's terrible. Buy the stuff that's $5 at Walgreens.
Right.
It's the same.
Yeah.
And so she was really honest. So now brands send her all their stuff to try. So she's become very popular for her very honest beauty consumer reviews.
So then this could be a perfect thing for this hair care brand.
Truly.
Because if she trusts it and she's not just doing it out of...
Yeah. What is most impressive to me about her, it's the same with the Kardashians or any other reality TV star that has made a reality TV appearance into something so much bigger. She was on The Real Housewives of New York and didn't have any of these companies before that. She took that platform that she got from doing the show, and she used that to propel all of these business ventures.
Right.
And it's really admirable to see her turn, what could be considered trash television, following around a bunch of rich ladies around New York City, into these massive multi-million-dollar business ventures. The fact that she could use that to propel that career is pretty cool, and I respect it.
I think that's a whole thing that now, that's why a lot of people do go on reality TV shows. Like,
Yeah,
it's kind of, it was a joke, when Taylor Fricky Paul's Bachelorette season was canceled. It was like, rest in peace to all of those guys' micro influencer careers.
Absolutely.
And it's the truth, because you go on these shows, people will follow you on Instagram. That's when you become an influencer.
Yes. The thing for me, though, is so many people don't know how to leverage that 5 minutes of fame like she did. She leveraged that 5 minutes of fame and made it into a multi-million-dollar career in business.
Yep.
And I think that 1% of reality TV stars are able to do it. So, you might see her as a dumb housewife, but she is extremely successful. She's not just a reality TV star. And I think it's great for this brand. The Pollads are a big name. They're a very wealthy family here in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And this is one of their business ventures, and they're hoping that Bethany will elevate the brand.
I'm sure she will.
Sure she will. All right, let's take a quick break here, and when we come back, I've got Erica Mrazek in studio. She's going to fill us in on some weather. Stay with us. welcome back. It has been a rainy last couple of days, but it seems like the rain has stopped and now the heat enters the equation. Meteorologist Erica Mrazek joins me now to talk all about it. Hi, Erica.
Hi. Yeah, a little bit rainy yesterday for some, especially down south. There was a lot of rain showers around Mower County, but today, totally dry, looking different with the sunshine. Pretty nice outside. High temperatures, mid-80s today, so right around normal where we should be, and it's just a fantastic day. Tomorrow's going to get a little bit warmer, so upper 80s. Saturday, upper 80s, a few spots, perhaps even 90, and then the 90s are likely for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, into next week. And a little bit humid, too, so it's going to feel warmer than what you're looking at on your phone. So temperatures could perhaps even feel like the triple digits at a couple of times next week. So
You mentioned the rain in Mower County. I do think we have some photos. It'll take her some time to pull them up, but I do think. Oh, she says we don't. I thought that one of our producers brought in those photos. Next time. But Mower County did have some serious flooding last night. So several people and their pets had to be rescued, and floodwaters have forced road closures and shut down parts of Interstate 90. So are you seeing any reports of like how fast that flood water can recede, how long those people will be underwater?
I'm not sure how long, but I was looking at reports yesterday of rainfall totals in some places were upwards of 5 inches. So,
wow.
Yeah,
and
lots
that's
of rain there.
I mean, talk to me about what happens, because when you get that much rain at once, the ground can't saturate it fast enough, right?
Yeah, so then it just kind of sits there. And then especially for urban areas, it starts to kind of pull like concrete because concrete can't absorb water, obviously, compared to a grassy field. So it just kind of hangs out there until it eventually flows out into the rivers and streams.
Southern Minnesota has been really hit with some heavy rainfall so far this summer.
Yeah, some storms too, very active for southern Minnesota.
But it's going to be dry here for a while, at least here in the Twin Cities, right? So and it's going to start to heat up.
Yeah, there is a little chance for what I'm calling a decorative sprinkle, because there's maybe just a couple light showers and rumbles for some. That's mostly western Minnesota and northern Minnesota for tonight into parts of tomorrow. But in the Twin Cities, I don't expect any rain showers, so it will be dry here.
When does the thermostat really start to crank up?
I would say, personally, I would call it Sunday. That's whenever it's going to be like 90s. Saturday, only some could get in the 90s, so I will call it Sunday, but Saturday can also count too, just depending on people's preferences for the temperatures and what they like. So
I don't think a lot of people in Minnesota love the extreme heat. So I want to switch gears here, Erica, because when I have you in here and I have a friend at the desk, I always like to bring up, we don't always have to talk weather. Is that okay with you?
Totally.
You've been following the World Cup, and have you been following the European obsession with American things?
I've seen a couple videos on my TikTok. It's kind of funny.
So, like, they are discovering ranch dressing, and they love it. They're discovering barbecue, and they love it. There's so many things about America. All these TikTok videos saying, America's amazing. Why didn't somebody tell us? We've been lied to our whole lives.
They haven't been to a superstore before. It's crazy.
So this is the thing. They're just now seeing big box retailers for their first time. They don't exist.
It's very eye-opening for them, I bet.
Oh, I can't imagine. In Europe, you'll never see things packaged in the sizes that we get here, like jumbo size boxes of potato chips or whatever.
Well, plus, isn't there certain foods here that they can't get over there, like certain
ranch.
Candies and things like that?
Oh, yeah, always, always. But so Walmart, the supercenter, is capitalizing on this now. So they have announced that they are going to start doing VIP tours at some Walmart locations, so locations where there are World Cup events going on, because they have noticed enthusiasm for their stores. I've seen this on social media too, where the Europeans are going into Walmart and they're like, this place is amazing.
They need to have testing stations for like different kinds of food at the different aisles during the tour, so everyone can try everything.
They can't believe that you can buy a whole gallon of milk, because in Europe you get like a little thing of milk. They can't believe that you can buy that much milk at once.
I can't believe it sometimes. I'm kidding.
Honestly, so they're loving that, and so they're going to be giving tours in New Jersey ahead of the World Cup final, and another in Miami after the quarterfinal game between Norway and England. The first 20 people in line get the experience. So
I really hope that some people vlog the tour, because I would like to know what it's like.
Oh, they will. It's amazing, the
experience.
videos of people going into Walmart for the first time, and they're just so overwhelmed and in love with like how they can't understand how you can have so many things in
Because you
one
could
store.
get clothes and food and things for your yard out there.
Yes.
It's literally everything.
You can get everything.
So
and
they're like, what?
the Europeans can't believe it, and Walmart's capitalizing on it now. So I'm sure we'll be seeing the TikTok videos from the tours. Would you take a Walmart tour?
I think I would hop on just to see what's up and see what like the tour consists of. But
Right.
I've been in a Walmart many a time.
Right.
So
For you, it's not interesting because you're an American, but for them,
yeah.
they want to know the ins and outs. So
Yeah.
I guess they're going to get a chance to find out. All right, Erica, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. We'll see you a little later, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Well, as interest in women's hockey gains momentum, the PWHL is hosting summer camps for the second year in a row, hoping to get young hockey players or maybe people who are interested but have never done it before, exposure to this sport. Claire Bierke with the Minnesota Frost joins me now. Claire, thanks for joining me.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Talk to me about these camps. So why did you guys decide to take part?
Yeah, a few parts to this, right? I think first and foremost, we want to engage with our fans in a new way, right? It's hard for us to see everybody on a day-to-day basis outside of game day, and this is a special way for us to connect on a new level. And that's the first thing. And I think secondly, it's really about trying to give back to our community and pay it forward, help grow the game, and really just keep it going.
So for people who attend the summer camp, what can they expect?
Yeah, thanks. So we've got a number of camps going on. First and foremost, we have one next week, this upcoming week, July 13th to 16th with our U6 and U8. We've also got another one in St. Paul with the U10 and U12 group coming up in August, later in August, 24th to 27th. And what folks can expect in those and our upcoming out of market clinics as well is just fun engagement with our coaches, our players, some on ice development, some off ice development. So for example, in this upcoming week, we'll have 3 of our very own coaches helping our players out. We'll have 2 of helping our campers out. we'll have 2 of our Frost players present. And then we're also bringing in our team dietitian and a sports performance specialist that works with our very own athletes to provide some classroom sessions with our players. So we've got a little bit of everything from classroom to dryland fun, familiarizing these athletes with movements that our own Frost players do to get ready on the ice, and then maybe some trivia and a lot of other things in between. So it's going to be a good time, very hands-on, very engaging for these players that come through.
So I read the Professional Women's Hockey League saw a 500% increase in demand for hockey programming during this past season. How much of that is driving these efforts?
Yeah, a huge part of that is just the growing of the game, right? And we want to help make hockey accessible at a young age, introduce it to people at a young age. And being in Minnesota, we're very passionate about that community-based hockey model that we have from the youth associations all the way through high school. And we really want to be part of that in any way we can. And this is just such a small part of a way for us to help grow that game. And as professionals in hockey, we want to help share that love. At the end of the day, this is a kid's game that we're fortunate enough to work in at a professional level, and getting involved with these kids or adults that are trying to learn, getting on the ice with them, it reminds us what brought us here in the first place. And so helping share that joy, but also helping people play as long as they want to keep playing. That's a huge goal for us.
You know, men's sports seem to get more attention than women's sports. Why is it so important for you to foster this relationship with your young fans, and also, you know, potentially grow the future athletes? As you know, the men get so much attention, but why should we give you these young girls attention as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many reasons why not, right? But I think more importantly, we're seeing these young girls' dreams change in real time. It wasn't up until a few years ago where people could dream to be playing at the Grand Casino Arena like our athletes can now, and really just catering them to show what's possible, but also just helping create that well-rounded human that sports do for these athletes, right? And so girls deserve it just as much as the boys do, and sports help build character and they help dreams come true. And part of what these camps and clinics help too is show what jobs can look like outside of just being a player, right? Like you can have a career in sports without being that athlete, and really just showing these people that there's a whole world out there for these girls. And we're just at the tip of the iceberg with what we're doing with these camps and how we're engaging with our fans in this new way.
That's wonderful that it's going beyond just playing hockey. You know, hockey remains still, the barriers to playing hockey remain pretty high still, because it tends to be a more expensive sport to get into. You know, the equipment's expensive, the ice time, access to ice is also difficult depending on where you live. Is there any efforts with those barriers and helping lower those barriers?
Yeah, absolutely. Very glad you brought that up, because it's just such a very real thing in society, and something that the league, that we're actively always having conversations about how we can try to break down those barriers, and again, make it accessible and help players play as long as they want to play. Something we're actively doing, not just with the Minnesota Frost, but league-wide. There's this program called Ready, Set, Skate, and that's in partnership with Bauer Hockey. And just this past winter or spring, we had our first 2 sessions with St. Louis Park Hockey Youth Association. They're co-opted with Hopkins, and then we also partnered with Shakopee. And what this does was, for a small fee, it was an 8-week program. Bowers provided hockey gear head to toe for free. Well, I guess I shouldn't say they provided it free to us, and it was included in this registration. So for a very low cost, these kids were able to learn about hockey, try it out for 8 weeks, and hockey gear and ice time are like the most expensive parts of hockey. And so to be able to provide that at a low cost is huge. And so this Ready, Set, Skate program is just getting started. we'll be looking for more local youth associations to partner with and introduce hockey and get people excited about hockey the same way we are.
You know, the league is expanding. We're adding teams. So obviously the interest in there is there. But how much do you think interest peaked due to the Olympics in Italy and the women's hockey team winning gold?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw ticket sales, we saw just social media engagement, everything. The excitement just skyrocketed. There's no doubt. We're fortunate to be a U.S. market, and to, having won, and we had such great representation on the Frost roster with those Olympians, and it was great for all of those who were able to participate, and they deserve their flowers. But winning gold, having a heavy USA roster in our own market, a lot of excitement. And then we were able to make a little bit of a tour with that as well. So our players deserve the credit, and just having our fans back up our players, regardless of what jersey they're wearing, I think is pretty incredible. So it was all special, and I think we're only going to build on it in terms of the quality, caliber of the game, fan support, what we're going to produce, and all that.
And I read that your summer programming is not just in St. Paul. You've got summer programming in Hermantown, Duluth, Superior. So you got something for every region of the state, it looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of these initiatives that not just we're doing, but all the other PWHL teams are as well, is out-of-market clinics. So much like these camps that we're hosting in St. Paul, we're taking that same concept, that same product, but we're trying to, again, reach more people to spread the love, spread the joy. And so we have, in August, we have what we're calling a North Shore tour. So we're hitting up a Proctor Hermantown, a Duluth stop, and a Superior, Wisconsin stop. And then we are also heading to California later this month. We'll be in Los Angeles and Anaheim, just to extend more reach and try to get to a community that doesn't necessarily have hockey the way we do in Minnesota, and just cast our net there.
Wonderful. It is the first time that every PWHL team is offering summer hockey programming. So the interest is there. The PWHL is responding. I so appreciate you taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, switching gears here, we have been keeping an eye on a live press conference that's been happening today in the Twin Cities. Congresswoman Kelly Morrison has introduced new legislation. It's called Safe Training for OBGYNs Act. And it will ensure that OBGYN residents, no matter what state they complete their residency in, will be able to train on how to perform an abortion. So this is specifically targeting states where abortion has been outlawed. 28 states have abortion bans. 13 states have total abortion bans. 28 states now have abortion bans based on gestational duration. So let's go live to that press conference. Kelly Morrison has just stepped off the stage, but we are now hearing from an
Excited to hear that
OBGYN.
Dr. Morrison is introducing this legislation, since my work every day involves training students and residents in abortion care, and I have personal experience with how legal changes can decimate that training. Prior to working in Minnesota, I was practicing and training residents and medical students in Ohio for several years. In June 2022, when the Dobbs decision overturned Roe versus Wade, Ohio had a 6-week abortion ban go into effect immediately. I had been seeing patients that morning at Planned Parenthood, and by 5 p.m., everything I had done that day would have been illegal. In addition to scrambling to find different ways to be able to take care of our patients, we also had resident doctors who were scheduled to be on their family planning rotation. We had to find alternative ways for them to get training. And that was their rotation, where they learned all of their abortion skills and most of their early pregnancy loss, miscarriage skills as well. The sudden shift in the law certainly impacted the level of training they were able to receive when it changed so quickly. We tried to build an out-of-state rotation where our residents could train in a more abortion-friendly state, but there were numerous logistical challenges, including how to pay for them to travel there and live in a different state away from their home for a month at a time, in addition to all of the relationship building it took with other institutions to establish a program like that. Fortunately, in Ohio, that 6-week ban was enjoined after a few months, but the reality remains that in many states there is no access to abortion care or training at this time. Since many residents and medical students end up staying to practice in the same state where they trained, this means that the whole OBGYN and general healthcare workforce is also losing those valuable skills across a large portion of the country, which leads to worse outcomes for our patients. Dr. Morrison's bill is a necessary step to regain equity in abortion training throughout the country. I'll pass it off to Dr. Stevens.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Erin Stevens. I'm an OBGYN physician, legislative chair for the Minnesota section of the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, otherwise known as ACOG, and co-chair of the Minnesota chapter of the Committee to Protect Healthcare. Since the Dobbs decision 4 years ago, extreme abortion restrictions have been enacted all around the country. Although we in Minnesota took the progressive step to enshrine abortion rights in our state constitution, at least 13 states have total bans on abortion, with an additional 28 states prohibiting termination of pregnancy based on gestational age cutoffs. This includes our neighboring states. Additional medically unnecessary mandates make this care practically unavailable even in places where it is technically legal, and further obstructs it in states with bans based on gestational age. Iowa, for instance, already had a 6-week abortion ban, a time before many people even know that they are pregnant, and just last week enacted a ban on telehealth abortion care. This is dangerous for patients as we see higher rates of maternal and infant morbidity and mortality in states with the most restrictive policies. This is also complicated for medical providers who face those same restrictions when considering the care they may provide. Often, they must weigh the provision of safe, evidence-based health care against the threat of punitive measures. Many state abortion bans include criminal penalties for those who provide abortion care, which may result in fines, loss of licensure, and prison time with up to a lifetime sentence. Given the potential for severe punishments and often vague wording for abortion legislation, providers may face a variety of clinical situations in which they are forced to delay care until the patient is at imminent risk of death or they have been given legal clearance to do their jobs. Due to this, applications for medical school and residency in many specialties have decreased dramatically for states with restrictive reproductive health care policies. Medical professionals do not want to train under circumstances in which they cannot even learn and have to fear practicing the standard of care. They want education in the right way to do the best for their patients in a safe setting. Ultimately, that's what we should all want for these trainees. The importance of the ability for residents to receive this training cannot be overstated. ACOG affirms that abortion is health care and supports equitable and timely access to abortion care, which depends on the availability of sufficient numbers of trained clinicians to provide that care. ACOG also notes that routine abortion training is associated with improved competence in all management options of early pregnancy loss and preparedness in managing early pregnancy loss complications. Programs in states without restrictive policies have thus welcomed in visiting residents to give everyone the opportunity to receive this training. This unfortunately places significant burden and strain on residents and residency programs. Representative Morrison's bill, the Safe Training for OBGYNs Act, is critical to ensure that in a harsh political landscape, all medical trainees who may ultimately need to provide safe obstetric and gynecologic care have the support necessary to access appropriate training and education related to abortion, including management of miscarriage, ectopic pregnancy, and life-threatening pregnancy complications. Thank you.
My gratitude to these impressive physicians for sharing your thoughts and for your care of patients. And we will take any questions if you have any.
With the current political climate that you've got in Washington, D.C., how difficult is this, how much of a push is this going to be to have success?
The longer we go from Dobbs, which was in 2022, the more dangerous it becomes across the country for women's health. So there is urgency to passing this bill, and it is my hope that there are people obviously there are Republican majorities in the House and the Senate, who care about women and who want them to be able to have healthy pregnancies. And so I am hopeful, and I'm going to continue dialoguing with my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. There is urgency to passing this into law.
Do you think that this bill is contingent on Democrats taking the midterm elections? I know we've seen a lot of other bills that Republicans say that they are for it and that they aren't doing it, but then they vote against it.
Yeah, I do think it's important. The Republican majorities in the House and the Senate have continued to try to restrict access to reproductive health care for women. Democrats have committed to doing the opposite, and we need to take measures to enshrine a federal law so that all American women can have access to the health care that they need. So I fear you may be right that we are going to have to wait until that there are pro-choice majorities in the House and the Senate. But I know there are Republicans who care about people's ability to access the health care that they need. So I'm going to keep pushing and keep trying to dialogue with my colleagues across the aisle about this important legislation.
How well is it working to have Minnesota become kind of this center state servicing a number of other states? Is this smooth, or is it not? Any of you others have kind of...
Yeah, I will defer to them, but I think we have become an important beacon of access in the upper Midwest. And so I'll let my currently practicing doctors address that if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, right after Dobbs, there was a huge influx in patients from other states, and Planned Parenthood honestly did become overwhelmed because so many patients were coming in. Luckily, more and more private clinics, because of our really friendly laws to reproductive health care, have been able to start providing abortion care, which is how it should be. Seeing your own doctor that you already know and trust to be able to get standard health care should be the law everywhere. But that ability to take that on in other clinics opened up a little more capacity in Planned Parenthood and Whole Women's Health for the more complex cases that need to come to these facilities. And so I think we're making this work the best that we can. But the more that we have trained providers in every state and laws that are friendly in every state to provide this care, the healthier our population will be. As both of us said, there have been increased rates in maternal and infant mortality and morbidity in the states with the most restrictive abortion policies. If people are really pro-life, they need to focus on the fact that more women and babies are dying as a result of these policies.
Yeah, I recently had the honor of meeting Amber Thurman's mother. Amber died in Georgia, where they have a very strict abortion ban because the doctors at the hospital that she went to were afraid to provide her the care that she needed. And I can only imagine the heartbreak of those physicians who felt hamstrung, who were afraid that they might lose their license. And Amber Thurman died because of abortion bans. And I think it's important to remind people that abortion bans do not stop abortion. As long as women are able to become pregnant, they will either need or want to end a pregnancy for a whole variety of reasons, none of which are any of our business. Abortion bans hurt women, they hurt physicians, they make everyone less healthy. So I'm excited about this legislation. It's important that we are able to train highly skilled OBGYNs to take care of women across the country. And this bill will help be a step in that direction.
Time for one more question.
Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks, superstars. Thank you. You guys are so good having us join you.
See what you want.
Rewards.
Yes. All right. You have been watching a live press conference with Congresswoman Kelly Morrison. She has introduced new legislation called the Safe Training for OBGYNs Act. This bill would ensure OBGYN residents, no matter what state they complete their residency in, would be trained in how to perform an abortion. Congresswoman Kelly Morrison calls this a life-saving skill needed to manage miscarriages, ectopic pregnancies, as well as pregnancy terminations. She brought this bill about because 13 states have a total abortion ban, and she claims that when she talks to OBGYN residents in those states, they're having some trouble getting trained in how to perform an abortion because of the laws in that state. Switching gears, we are going to take a quick break, and when I come back, we are going to have Erica Mrazek in to do another check of our weather. Stay. welcome back. The beautiful, lovely, talented Erica Marisik joins us now. That was my Vanna White intro. That was
I liked it.
That was your game show intro.
Here I am.
Here you are.
Waving.
So we've had a lot of rain recently, and even some flooding, some pretty bad flooding in southern Minnesota yesterday in Mower County. They were having to rescue people from their homes and their cars, and it sounds like the flooding has not fully receded there yet. So.
Yeah, going to take some time, especially in those urban areas where there's not a place for the water to naturally sink into the ground because it's all concrete cement. So eventually, hopefully, it'll clear out.
But you were saying some parts yesterday got 5 inches?
Yeah, and then in valley areas, then it pulls to even higher than that. So,
wow.
Yeah,
that's a lot of rain.
It is.
But it sounds like the rain is leaving, and we're just going to have heat sticking around.
Yeah, so if we're not getting stormed on, we are melting. But yeah.
If you're not wet, you're melting.
Basically. But yeah, today's a really nice day. So comfortable outside, high temperatures in the 80s, a lot of sunshine. And then for tomorrow, it's also fairly nice, starting to get a little bit warmer, but nothing too oppressive just yet. And also tonight, tomorrow, I'm tracking the chance for just an isolated pop-up shower. They're mostly western Minnesota and northern Minnesota, not here in the metro. So metro is dry throughout the rest of this week and the weekend, and then it gets really hot starting during the middle of the weekend and into next week because high temperatures are going to be in the 90s and dew points are 60s and sometimes even 70s. So that means it feels like temperatures are even triple digits at times throughout the afternoon.
Is this normal for June?
It's above average, July. Above average.
July.
It's okay. No one knows what day it is,
July
what time
now,
it is.
Everyone.
Yeah, normal high temperatures about 84 degrees. So this is definitely abnormal.
And we had an abnormal May, pretty normal June, but May was extremely hot. And so
yeah, it was hot.
It's been a hot, but we are still getting plenty of rain, but we do still have parts of the region that are in a drought watch. Is that right?
Yeah, so some areas do have a rainfall deficit, so they haven't been getting as much rain as they need. The last I checked, that was mostly in the northern parts, but there's other parts of the state, but there's other parts kind of sprinkled throughout too that are dry. So the rainfall was helpful for that.
Okay.
For those cases.
Very good. Hey, do we have that video, Kara? Okay, great. I love to put you on the spot here, Erica, because she doesn't know that we're going to do this. But
oh my, should I be scared?
No, you shouldn't be. This is just a viral video that I found on the internet, and I really want your take on it. I mean, considering you're a weather watcher and you watch the weather, you watch the rain, I really want to know what's going on with the water here. A video has gone viral out of Maryland. A mother posted this video of her son riding an amusement park ride in Ocean City.
I used to go, is that Maryland or New Jersey?
Ocean City, Maryland.
Oh.
Ocean City, Maryland. So she captured this footage of her son, Astro, riding a boat in this dirty water as the duo visited the Trimper rides for the kid's 4th birthday. And as you can see there, she says, the water hasn't been changed since I rode these boats back in 1999. And I think she's probably accurate. Like, are they
One could make an argument that the bottom of that ride is painted like a brown color. Because have you ever seen a pink pool? The bottom's just painted pink. It's not like the water's pink. So someone could be like, no, it's painted brown underneath and that's why it's reflecting brown. Although I am not thinking that, but.
Could be. I'm thinking that they haven't changed the water in 30 years.
Yeah, hopefully no one accidentally falls in when they're getting into a boat or anything because that water doesn't look very sanitary.
Have the operators not looked at that and gone, this isn't a good look? Nobody's going to want to ride our ride if we have brown water.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's the same operators from 1999, so to them, it looks the same because they just see it every day.
So apparently in images released by the company in 2024 and in mid-May 2026, the water was blue. And then it was green by June 2026. So they have posted photos that show it being different. So the water has turned brown recently, it appears.
Okay.
Can you bring the video up again, Kara?
I also am curious to see if there's other people. I was watching mainly that kid in the front. I'm curious to see if there was other people also riding it. See, it looks very empty.
Yeah, the ride does look pretty
He's
empty.
the only one.
Because who wants to ride this ride when the water looks like that? Can rainwater do this, Erica?
I mean, if there's debris that gets mixed in with it, it could turn it gross colors.
If I was the operator and I saw this, I would drain the pool.
I'm gonna say I would drink it. I was like, wow.
Yeah, no, I would not drink it. I would drain it and refill it. Simply from a PR standpoint, this doesn't look good. And now that this has gone viral, because this happened over the 4th of July weekend, now that this
They
has
should
gone
have made it
viral,
red and blue.
I need an update from the operator because I'm imagining that after seeing this video go viral, they have cleaned up the ride, but
They probably got an email from their manager being like, what's going on
I
here?
have no confirmation. You know, when they redid the reflecting pool in Washington, D.C., they painted it with a blue paint, a coat of blue paint that made it look blue. I think that these people need to invest in some kind of water paint.
Yeah, because aren't most swimming pools a light blue color?
Yeah.
So it looks like you're swimming in, I don't know,
Crystal
the ocean,
blue
I
waters.
guess. Yeah.
Yes, totally. So I think that they need to make an investment in painting the bottom of this ride blue so that people aren't completely grossed out.
And maybe like frequently, like once a year.
Yeah, they should probably
maintenance on
change
it.
the water.
Yeah.
And maybe check the pipes.
Yeah,
Maybe check
that
the
too.
pipes.
All the above.
Erica, thanks for joining us. I appreciate you. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. Well, for tomorrow night's Lynx game against the New York Liberty, they are offering $17 tickets to celebrate Cheryl Reeve, the head coach's 17th year of coaching. Cheryl Reeve last night became the winningest WNBA coach in history with her 380th win. And now you can get a $17 ticket to the game tomorrow night to celebrate. The deal is available for a limited time through the Lynx promotional channels. This also comes as the Lynx announced another attention-grabbing offer. Cash in on the ring. Fans can buy a $250 upper-level membership that includes tickets to every remaining regular season home game. And if they win the 2026 championships, they will repay you the money. That's our news for today. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back again tomorrow. We hope you'll join us. Have a great day.